Melanie.
I'm Kent.
And this is our first attempt at doing a web vlog for YouTube. We are enjoying a lot of adventures together in our middle years, and we want to share those with you. And our latest toys are really, really fun.
How did we get into our latest toy, Melanie?
Before we tell you what our latest toy is, we were taking our 15th anniversary vacation in San Diego, and Kent surprised me with that. Kent had the opportunity to choose his activity for us to do, and
sailing.
That was sailing. It was thrilling. We had almost a private sailboat tour out on the Pacific looking for whales during their migration from the north to Mexico. And we actually saw whales. And so we have footage of that as well that we'll be sharing at some point. But the next day after sailing, I got a chance to choose what our activity was going to be. And one of the things that are offered in San Diego are Segway tours. I've never seen them used as recreation before, and so it sounded kind of intriguing. It sounded interesting. And we booked the Segway tour and learned how to ride one, and we were hooked. And
it was so much fun. Oh my! I wasn't expecting it to be so much fun.
It was. He said it would not have been something that he chose to do himself. But once we practiced it during this tour of San Diego, by the San Diego Zoo and all of Balboa Park. We were the only two on this tour, so
it was like upper 50s that day, which is like freezing weather for San Diego. So there was nobody else out.
I'm pretty sure it was warmer in Omaha than it was in San Diego, but we had such a fun time, and after experiencing that, we could not stop thinking about how fun it was and how we would ever experience that again.
And since Melanie's birthday was coming up, I found kind of some clones of Segways that are much, much, much cheaper than Segways are, and surprised her with an early birthday present.
Yes. Through his research, he found a cheaper alternative. It's probably not as stable or steady, or
and we can tell that from our writing of them, that it's not quite as smooth as a Segway, but for 1/6 the cost,
right?
It's close enough.
Definitely close enough. And we only rode the Segway once. It's been interesting. We've ridden this now, the Segway. The Airwheels. Segway is kind of like saying Kleenex for tissue. It's a brand name, so it's not a Segway. It's an Airwheel. S5. And they make S3s, and I think they make one more up, off-road. I thought they did.
No, Segway does.
Oh, Segway does. Okay, scratch that. But they make one below the one that we got, which has smaller wheels,
smaller battery,
and which allows us to
go further, a little bit faster, but mostly further,
and over grass if we need to go over grass.
And helps with the bumps or cracks in the pavement or little potholes, that sort of thing, with the bigger tires.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you can't conceive of what you're going to come across when you're riding these until you're actually riding them. And we know that now because we each have taken our first spill, and hopefully our last.
First time out. Because the biggest difference, it was me. The biggest difference, I think, between the S5 and the Segways is the sensitivity of the steering. The Airwheels are really sensitive steerers, so if you try to treat it like a car or something, when you try to steer it exactly where you want it to go, especially if you're going down a hill or something, then it just basically throws you off. The key that we've learned, because we've now ridden it successfully without accident half a dozen times at least since that first time, is small motions. You definitely have to take everything incrementally.
Nothing
and
fast.
then it's fine.
Yeah, nothing fast. So not only do you not want to accelerate quickly or decelerate quickly because it will throw your balance off this way, but most definitely we learned to not be taking any corners or trying to avoid any obstacles quickly, especially going fast. So, any jerky motion like this with the steering, and all of a sudden you're feeling like off kilter, and then it's pretty much the end.
Yep.
I've been thrown one other time since that unfortunate day when we both ended up on the ground, actually, and that was not good. I mean, we're 55 years old, and our bodies are not as able to absorb the impact of falling, and so we were very, very careful after that, a little skittish about, the simplest thing, just because until you experience something, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. But like most things in life, as long as you're smart, as long as you're careful,
right,
it's not really a concern.
It's easy to get a little cocky when you're when you're riding, and it's so much fun, and you haven't experienced something bad yet. It's like you push the envelope because you don't know any better, and we know better now, and it's good that it happened early on.
I think so.
Yeah, and we weren't going all that fast. It's just that we'd never experienced that problem yet, and we had never experienced what it means to actually involuntarily dismount from this thing. And
that was our first longish ride on the Airwheels, and there were a couple things that surprised us, and I think that was a contributing factor, because whenever you get surprised, then your reactions might be a little different. But these are speed limited devices, and so you can actually configure what you want your maximum speed to be up to its absolute maximum, which is 17 kilometers an hour. But for your first few miles, it automatically restricts you to 13 kilometers per hour. So when you get close to that limit, you can actually feel it kind of rearing back on you to slow you down. That freaks you out when you're not expecting it the first time.
So since we've had these, we've done some fun things. We
went car shopping.
We did. So there's a car dealership about 2 miles away from our house, and of course, we make good use of Google Earth or the Google Maps so that we can kind of plot our path to locations.
Sidewalks are key.
Yes, sidewalks are really, really important, and if you don't have them, you have to find alternative routes, like through trails and things like that in neighborhoods. And
neighborhoods aren't bad because there's not a lot of traffic. So
yeah, there are pros and cons to everything. So the neighborhoods, you have the smaller sidewalks, you have more bumps in the sidewalks sometimes, but we found that, and you have driveways to deal with, as far as like the curvature of the driveways, things that you would never think about until you're actually doing these. You still have to keep a keen eye out for potholes, big cracks, so you're not startled, because the moment you get startled and you're off balance, you're going to fall. I mean, that's just, if you hit an obstacle that you're not expecting, like...
And keeping loose. You don't want to really grip the hand grip too much. You just have to keep everything loose so that you just naturally absorb all of those
bumps.
Those unexpected motions.
Right. But it is, we wouldn't be doing it, and we wouldn't be doing this channel if it weren't a lot of fun. And our plans are to take you on adventures with us and learn about some of the things that, we find are fun to do at our age. And
kayaking.
Yep, kayaking, and even walks. We're going to be sharing a lot of different things that you might not think about in...
There's Solo's tail.
So,
big poopy tail.
I think Solo might be making some appearances in our videos as well.
Come on, buddy. Thanks for watching. And don't know how often we'll be doing videos. Now that it's coming up on springtime, it could be every week, every 2 weeks. Yep. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.